Hey, welcome back. I don't even have my headphones on. Hey guys, we're back again, covering all this crazy news. Is my music still playing? Yeah, there it is. I figured out how to, like, if you guys have been watching all the streams, which a lot of you probably have, welcome back, and thank you for sticking with Tails channel on our, this insane, unprecedented, month in Sonic news. But if you've been following what I've been doing so far, I've been talking about how I don't have enough real estate on my screen to do all the crazy stuff that I got going on here, but I'm making it work. To be super clear, we still have around 15 minutes, 14 minutes now before the interview with Iizuka-san comes out about Sonic Frontiers and how they came about settling on what kind of open world Sonic's going to go through. Give me a second, because I just want to make sure. I'm just going to double check that everything is the way visually it's supposed to be. Give me a second here. It might see my camera change a little bit. Give me a sec. I could use a little bit more exposure. All right, sweet. That looks fine. Okay. So we got our music. How's our audio levels doing? Can you guys hear me? And can you hear the music? We should have this chill underscore vibe like we always do. I want you to, of course, be able to enjoy the music as I do, but I also don't want it to be too loud for me. I'll crank it up just a little bit. It's a little quiet. So who is hype for this interview and Sonic Prime? So we got two things, actually. It's a perfect time for me to utilize these wonderful primers that Ryan has put together for us. I'm actually going to have to zoom these in. Yeah, here we go. All right, so today is the 10th, if you didn't know, and from 1 to 2, it's going to be Sonic Prime. This is actually going to be happening later in the day. And then it's going to start at noon, so just in 13 minutes from now is going to be an interview like we were talking about with Iizuka-san about the origins of the open zone design and the split between that design and the traditional linear. I did not give myself enough time to read these. I tried to do a slideshow thing this time to include both primers, but I thought I gave myself enough time to read it, but these are much faster than I originally set out. Let's crank this up to like ridiculous numbers. There we go. And then we go back here. Okay. So the split between the design and the traditional linear 3D Sonic levels. The lessons learned from Sonic Adventure that went into Frontiers. So if you don't know, that's actually the description of the IGN upload here. So if I go to the upload page, yeah, it's exactly what it says in the description here. So this is not something that Ryan, though he can whip up magical verses to inform you guys of the latest Sonic news and updates. This is not his word crafting abilities. It's actually straight from IGN in the description here. Just to give you the absolute clarity on what is going to be covered here, because all things considered, IGN, or Mitchell, the representative for IGN that's covering this story, has been very transparent, all things considered. And I really appreciate that. So massive shout outs to the team. So let's see if this slideshow is going to cause me more hilarity. But you know what? That's the fun part about live streams, is there's always going to be something kind of crazy going on. So, yeah, so this is going to be a very long stream. We're going to be streaming from noon all the way to 2. So that's 2 hours. You don't normally get me for 2 hours. So be thankful, be grateful. I'm going to be very exhausted after today. I pushed some things aside to be here for you guys today, but I'm very excited to see this interview, because every piece of information I get about Frontiers, the more my opinion shifts. It's an interesting position to be in. Forces burnt me in a unique way, just because I never really felt like I was so misled, but I've talked about that and droned about it for years. So Netflix says it means fans are going to get the latest news, trailers, reveals, and in-depth looks at the most exciting upcoming Netflix series, Sonic Prime. This slideshow, hey, you know what? We already saw the other one, so let's bump out the other one. Let's see, which one is 1 and which one is 2? This will be a challenge. Let me just... Yeah, we got the right one. There we go. We're gonna get through it one way or another. Here we go. So this one won't change anymore. Games and let's see. This backfired on me. I thought I timed it perfectly. I rehearsed it and everything. Anyway, This is the looks at the upcoming Netflix games and series based on the beloved gaming IP. Sonic Prime was mentioned to be featured at the Games Showcase. So there's like a games section of Geeked Week, and that is technically included under the umbrella of new... What is it? Oh, no, I'm getting all the... there was no Sonic yesterday that I have completely blanked out. It's not New Games Plus, but it felt like New Games Plus. Summer of Gaming, right? Summer of Games. Yeah, so everyone was clowning on Jeff yesterday because there was, in the promotional material, Sonic Frontiers was shown. And Jeff was saying a lot of stuff like, oh, Sonic's going to be involved in some way. And I'm pretty sure that they were referring to Prime. Now, this has been a back and forth because then Katie, later that day, clarified on the Sonic official live stream that happened that Sonic will not be at Summer Games Fest. However, then later on, Katie corrected herself because Jeff continued to tease that Sonic would be around Summer Games Fest today. So there's a lot of confusion going on about what is the truth. So if you haven't checked Tails' channel already and you're trying to get the final answer, we've been trying to follow it as much as we can, but of course, it's one of those things where we're so on top of it that we're so quick to report on stuff that we have to add to a thread. And not everybody gets the notif. Some people just get the first notif. And so we got to keep saying this. So what Katie clarified is, hi, quick clarification, because there was a slight misspeak on my part. It's true we won't be showing any new Sonic Frontiers content at Summer Games Fest. However, there will be more hands-on impressions coming out next week. So similar to what we're going to be observing today. So probably the Tuesday and the Thursday uploads at noon. We're going to get more of those for the rest of this month from IGN. Plus Sonic Prime at Netflix Geeked Week. So that's part of the Summer Games Fest umbrella. Now, is it right for them to market Sonic Frontiers for this event and not show Sonic Frontiers specifically? I don't know. It's kind of a gray area for me because they knew that Sonic Frontiers was going to be talked about at the same time. So they were probably just, and this is a direct quote from Jeff, that promotional advert was intended to get people excited for gaming in general. And so you can take it one way where it's like, yes, it's false advertising, but you can take it on the other hand that Sonic is relevant enough for Jeff to feel like, and he really is. There's no denying that because Sonic's numbers are growing. The Sonic official live stream yesterday hit a record number of viewers. The Sonic brand is growing. And this is all adds to what I'm saying to you guys, is that if you feel like people are overreacting to Frontiers, it's probably because you're still in the same mindset as when Sonic was a smaller property. I can understand somebody perceiving me treating Frontiers unfairly in comparison to how I treated games in the past that we covered on Tails' channel. Because without the context, I am being harder on Frontiers. But with the context, right, when you look at the growth of the franchise, we have to hold it to companies because the companies want to pocket money, right? They want to sell the most people a product with using the least of their resources possible, right? And so it's only natural that only longtime fans, right, not the fans that are being added to this pool, only the longtime fans will know that context. And so it's kind of our responsibility in a way to be critical. But I say critical and hype because that doesn't mean be disrespectful. You can point out things that you think are problematic with a game and evidence that it may be lacking polish. But I will say it's not helpful to contribute to a conversation if you already know that the foundations of the concept of Frontiers you don't like. You're really not going to be able to add anything constructive to the conversation because you don't like its foundation. So it's mentally healthy for people that feel that way about Frontiers to vent with other people that feel that way. But it's not helpful to vent towards people that are excited about the foundation that Frontiers presents, you're not going to convince them. They like the foundation. They're hoping that that it will lead to a polished game. Of course. And now you can make the joke, hopium, whatever. But we none of us really know in the end what we're gonna get, which is what makes this so exciting. So that's the most wisdom I can offer. And again, what I say is far from gospel. I'm just aware of how long I've been around the community, and so if you've been around less than I have, I'm just hoping that maybe I can give you a head start and avoid making the same mistakes that I did. So yeah, take what I say with a grain of salt. It's really take it or leave it. And again, my advice comes from experience from a different time. So it's possible that my experience does not apply to the future. So yeah, just, you know, keep your own head on your shoulders. And if you're younger than me, there's a chance that a solid 58% of my advice will be useful to you. But you'll have to do your own critical thinking for the most part. But, you know, I'm aware of the platform that I have at Tails channel, and so I think it only makes sense to use it to help people, because I know it's not mine. This is a community platform. So in this last couple of minutes before we start getting flooded with Sonic Frontiers content, we've got 3 minutes left. I'm going to quickly try to get my friend in here. Give me a sec. Bam. No, Gerbil, I'm not going solo. I know you're staying up for this. I'm gonna get you in here. I just didn't want to. Hey, Gerbil, I was just saying to you, I'm not doing this solo. I threw myself into the intro because I like the stream to start fast, you know, quick.
Oh my god, I was so terrified. I was like, he's dogging me.
No, I know you have to stay up though. Like, I know you're joking right now, but you have to stay up. That sucks.
I don't mind. It's really not a big problem. I'd rather chill for the rest of the night. See how the Sonic news stuff goes. Give you some company.
I will be fully transparent. I did not clarify with you that this stream's gonna be 2 hours long. Now, I'm not expecting you to stay for the 2 hours. Don't do that.
I'll stay for as long as I get. Yeah. Until I get tired.
Leave anytime you like. It's just because we have the Frontiers interview at the normal time slot, like the last 2 times we did this together. But then we also have Geeked Week right after, which happens an hour after. So it would be silly to like go off air and then go back. But it's perfect. Honestly, I feel like Sega might be like, oh, you started hashtags delay Sonic Frontiers. We're gonna make it incredibly inconvenient for you guys. We're gonna reschedule the premiere. They're doing everything they can to make this stressful, which whatever, fair game. We'll fight the fight.
Yeah.
I'll pay the price. If it means that we are making an impact, then I'll play ball.
Oh yeah. Let's see how this goes.
All right, so keep in mind, guys, that since it's a YouTube premiere, right when it strikes noon, you're actually gonna have to wait 2 minutes after that because it's a YouTube premiere. And so at noon, it starts the 2-minute countdown. So, you know, control your hype. Understand that it may seem like there's 2 minutes left, but it's actually 4 minutes. So, Gerbil, how's your day go? How was your day? You're in a different time zone.
It's good. It's my birthday today.
It's your birthday today?
Yeah, it's my birthday today. Well, it was my birthday today.
Oh my god, I did not know that. You're one of those people that like don't really talk about it, huh?
Do I? I guess I am. I don't know. I don't like making a big deal out of it. I feel like
it would be kind of weird to be like, it's my birthday, everybody. Some people are like, it's my birth week, so you gotta respect me.
Birth week? That's crazy.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. You know, different strokes for different folks, but like, I feel like, I mean, if your family supports it, right? I just feel like it might be crossing a line when you expect friends to abide by the birth week. But if it's your family and everybody gets a week, then all right. I mean, I just feel bad for the parents.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's like a lot of work, but hey.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just jealous, right? Like, they could easily say, like, you're just mad you don't get a week birthday. All right, cool, fine. All right, chat. So now we have 2 minutes before it goes live. The premiere should start any second, so let me do good audio mixing and slowly turn down the backtrack before the crazy generic lo-fi from YouTube Premiere starts playing. All right, so in this last 2 minutes, chat. Oh, here we go. Here's the iconic YouTube Premiere song. All right, so chat, how is the audio for not only Gerbil but the Premiere? Oh no, did I? What? How did I mute and deafen myself for you?
What?
I was muted and deafened? Did you notice that on Discord?
No. You're not muted. You're not muted and deafened. You've been.
I was for a second.
No, you weren't. I had my stream on mute. My stream has been on mute the entire time.
When I looked back at my Discord page, it said I was muted and deafened. Anyway, so that's a perfect conversation for you guys to test the volume for Gerbil. Can you hear him? You can hear everybody?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? Is it really obnoxious? Is my microphone quality getting to your head? Can you hear my big annoying voice clear as day in your head?
Could be a little louder. I'm gonna. Oh, thank you. Okay, so thank you, Adin. Thank you, Rash, and thank you, Hyper Silver, for letting me know that the audio is good. Really appreciate that. We now have 50 seconds before we hear Azuka speak. We actually don't know if we're gonna get any new gameplay here, but if the last interview with IGN is any indication, this should make a pretty big impact on how people feel, and we'll have a full hour to talk about it. So stick around.
Where can I watch this?
Oh, this is on IGN's page. I should have enough time to send you a link. Give me a sec. Blop. There you go. So weird. I feel more prepared this time, but I set up this live stream way more last minute. So maybe I just hit my stride. I don't know. Whatever.
You're in that zen state of like kind of doing everything
so
on
much.
impulse, and you're riding off of that wave.
That's probably what it is. Okay. Oh, runner's music?
What?
Oh wait, that's not runner's music. It's Force's music. No. Okay, so we got subtitles. So now we've had the 2D classic and 3D modern Sonic. Am I gonna do some voice acting, narration? But as we think about the future of games we want to deliver, we wanted to challenge ourselves to create a new type of 3D action game with a higher level of freedom. Very good. That was the purpose from the beginning of this project. Okay. This is footage we've seen. After completing Sonic Forces, we brainstormed on what game we wanted to make next. I'm reading too fast. When we thought about the standard linear game format for 3D Sonic games, our ability to innovate felt limited. Yeah, we felt that too. We would only be able to develop something that fans had already seen before. Yes, but I'm seeing a lot of things I've seen before already. So we had to think about the linear gameplay format and how we were going to change it. And have those conversations with the development team members from the very beginning of the project. As I mentioned earlier, one of the factors for the idea for this project was to take the linear game design and turn it into an action game with a high level of freedom as the core starting point. Well, that was the complaint. So unlike the other open-world action-adventure games, the origin of the game design is completely different. The base of our game is a 3D action-adventure game expanded to be a freer game experience. And that's how we thought up of this completely new open zone game system. So that's why it's called Open Zone. It's... That's kind of just like Sonic Adventure. Okay. No, open world games, games like Zelda or other AAA open world games out there. Why do you start with no? I believe are using the world for an RPG or adventure game and flavoring that with the open world features. But Sonic is taking the 3D action game as its core and having it take place in an open space as the origin of the idea. So what makes Sonic Frontiers different is how we approach the open space in the world, which is unique. Well, that's a good approach. I guess we should have to see how it comes together.
Yeah.
So on the open zone islands, you can discover many things and enjoy very Sonic-y 3D actions. And in addition, we have also have the more traditional linear high-speed action stages for people to enjoy as well. Are you going to show them? This is the sort of gameplay that fans of the previous modern Sonic 3D title action titles will really enjoy. So they want to offer something new, but are like afraid to do too new? By merging the new open zone and traditional 3D action stages into the same island, players will be able to experience an even broader variety of 3D actions than ever before. Their subtitles are a little off, so I'm actually having to adjust them in real time. But only on Tails' channel. Exploring the islands is part of the fun in Sonic Frontiers. I've become Izuka. And it's about both the 3D actions and on the island and the excitement of what you discover that is fun. On the islands in Sonic Frontiers, there is a lot of things to do on the island. That's good. Sounds like a promise, though. A lot is subjective. And one of those things is puzzle solving. Can we see a complicated one? Some of these puzzles require action gaming techniques to solve, while others require mental skills. So we haven't seen the first mentioned one. So by implementing various kinds of gameplay into the puzzles, you will be able to unlock lots of different areas on the island. Okay, I want to see the platforming ones. And expand the play area on the island as another fun thing to do. Sonic Frontiers has a clearly different and more realistic look compared to our previous Sonic games. Except Sonic looks the same.
True.
That's what I'm saying, sorry. The storytelling in Sonic games as well has always been like, something bad has happened, fix it. It was very directly communicated to the player, this is what you need to do, this is what is happening. Okay. He's going to talk about the mystery aspect. But for Sonic Frontiers, we follow Sonic to the islands and he doesn't know what to do, or how to save his friends. There's got to be NPCs that clear that up. We want people to explore the islands and find the answers to these questions alongside Sonic. That's the theme. It's gotta be using the avatar preset, the assets. NPCs talking. So the soundtrack also has less focus on upbeat tracks themed to each specific zone. Similar to Breath of the Wild. It's more focused on creating and supporting the feeling of mystery you will have on the islands. But what if it's not a mystery anymore, right? That's what I was saying, is when it's not a mystery, will the tracks change? I keep saying, like, it'd be so cool if you see the impact on the world. This time, as I mentioned before, these mysterious islands are the stage for all the events in Sonic Frontiers. And for the islands to feel mysterious, our artists work hard to create the graphics and look that conveyed that mystery. Yeah, so ancient ruins. Sonic fans from 30 years ago are adults now. Hi. There are also young fans who may have started with the movies and other content. Going forward, we want the Sonic brand to appeal to both groups of fans across games and other media. Target audience is no longer just young children. As part of that strategy is our June release of Sonic Origins. It perfectly presents the origins of Sonic in a format for those who grew up with the originals, or for those who are new to the series. I agree with that. So far, I think it does a great job doing that. Then we plan on releasing titles like Sonic Frontiers as something new that even our 3D Sonic veterans will find new and exciting. It's all about how much new there is, really. Moving forward on a title-by-title basis, we will focus on these target audience and deliver games for those fans. They have said things like this before, but never so direct. I've mentioned this in previous interviews, but I would like to continue the Sonic Adventure series at some point.
What the hell?
What? In Sonic
That is a loaded
adventure fields, which were smaller open spaces. Did they add this as damage control? Okay, but even the techniques we used back then are helping us execute well on Sonic Frontiers. I still can't believe they said that. So I haven't really thought about my next game yet. But we would hope that all the work we put into Sonic Frontiers can be used to make another Sonic Adventure game sometime. What is happening?
What? These are very loaded statements. This is a very big statement to make.
There is no way they didn't add that. Okay, this is conspiracy theory territory. I'm Tails channel, so I'm aware. This is conspiracy theory. This is conspiracy theory. But what? Okay.
I mean, that was just an outright confirmation that it will happen one day, right? Basically.
That is insane.
That is a very big, bold statement to make.
I'm seeing some people in chat say he's never said this before. Okay, so it's one of those things where like he did say that he like, and with Forces they did say they're aware that they have fans that are older, right? And so he's kind of like inch by inch getting closer and closer. But now it's at the point where like he said, oh, like like looking back at Sonic Adventure 1, this is an old interview. Looking back at Sonic Adventure 1, I'd really like to remake it sometime. And that was like when Forces was about to come out. And now he's saying, I'd really like to make another adventure title. And they're also saying this is, I kind of want to set a new groundwork, kind of like Adventure did. What the okay, at this point, all the people who said we will never get SA3, clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji. Also, all the people that said Sonic Team doesn't listen to fans, clown emoji, clown emoji. Sorry, but you were freaking wrong. And I'm pogging, not because like Adventure 3 could still be bad and another adventure game could still be bad, right? It's just a title. I'm pogging because I feel so right. I've been saying this for so long, guys. But anyway, Gerbil, I know I was talking throughout all of that, so I would love to give you the floor on how you reacted to that. I was not expecting to have to translate this quite as much. But yeah, what was your reaction to all that news?
Look, I was quite reserved.
Right.
I wasn't expecting anything phenomenal, anything to really blow my socks off. I was expecting Azuka to just talk about the game, but it felt like we got like he talked about anything but the game, and that's a good thing. I feel it's reassuring to know that the person spearheading this franchise is in touch with what the demographic for Sonic is and how it varies and what people want. This is a very important interview because it confirms to us as the consumer that we are being listened to. And we haven't really had something like that happen before in Sonic. We've had little nods like, yeah, we know, we hear you, you know. But we've never had someone outright tell us that we are appealing to these fans, we're going to make products for this demographic, and we are going to change our business model. It was a huge slap in the face, if that makes sense, in a good way. And I was just as taken back as you were. It's kind of crazy.
And you could also make the argument that like, okay, like I'll believe it when I see it, right? Because you could like cherry pick interviews that are kind of vaguely similar, all that stuff, right? But here's the thing. Never have we seen such a great effort by the teams at B to clear up the lore, right? They're actively trying to clear up pieces of lore that fans have been like trying to figure out for years. Right? Mm-hmm. And like as small as that seems, that actually like heals a large portion of the community, because like if you've been on any social media platform, you could probably count with your hands, your toes, the hairs on your head how many conversations you've had that were like needlessly toxic because people just like for whatever reason have convinced themselves because they need an explanation, and so they seek one out for themselves. But because the official sources don't provide one, people will find their own answer, and everyone's got like, you know, more or less kind of cool justifications as to why they believe that. But when they're different and they don't align, you just get two people that are like fighting over nothing. Like they're two creative people that thought of a cool solution to a problem, and they're fighting because they're both creative and thought of a different solution. Like that's sad. Those people should work together and be friends. And so now there's more of an opportunity of that to happen, right? Yeah, you'll be salty, I was wrong, blah, 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 blah. But that was wicked cool that you were able to think of your own headcanon. Maybe you should write your own story, right? Clearly, if lore matters to you, you should put something together that where you use those same skills. Like this doesn't have to be a bad thing. This is an incredibly good thing. Back to the conspiracy theory thing though, because like, what do you think? I don't know if you were watching Games Fest yesterday, Gerbil, but they were saying that they were trying to delay this interview because they wanted to make room for Summer Games Fest. But the thing about that is that kind of contributed to the belief that there would be Frontiers at Summer Games Fest, and that's part of why people kind of went there expecting, because they're like, oh, we don't want to compete with ourselves. That's not what they meant, though. I think, honestly, like, that's kind of, this is conspiracy theory. Red flag, conspiracy theory. This is the portion that is my opinion, not Tails channel. Then again, it's all my opinion. But conspiracy theory. I'm flagging it really aggressively, but because that explanation didn't really make that much sense, and because we got the like early build kind of thing slapped on to the second IGN video after the negative response, I'm thinking they're kind of trying to pivot and having Azuka say he wants to make another adventure game is that's like a galaxy brain move. But now they have to deliver. Now, this is a conspiracy theory, but we're never going to know the truth. So this is my truth, okay? This is what happens when you're critical and hype. Because the argument can be made that we would have never gotten that disclaimer of early build unless we pushed for it. The reality is that, and I've been at a job I don't like too much, sometimes you need to be pushed, but as long as it's respectful, constructive, and you're aware of human limits, and you're being transparent, you can be critical. It doesn't have to be tied with being disrespectful and awful, but you can still push for something. And yeah, we've pushed for Adventure 3 for years, and not everybody that's pushed for it has been respectful. And so, yeah, maybe that stings for some people that know somebody who wasn't respectful and they're getting what they want. But like, there are also people who are being respectful and really wanted this and waited for many years, and also gave their new interpretations of Sonic a fair shot, and broke them down and tried to figure out what it is about the new approach that wasn't quite ringing with them. And this is me, I'm talking about myself now, right? Like, boost formula, like, I think was a good, like, the context is that Unleashed came out right after 06, and so I was really excited about the concept of Unleashed and the boost formula because it felt like what they needed to do. But context, again, when they lean on it for too long, the thought was that, like, they were gonna lean on it to get people to be like, okay, sorry about 06. And then they were going to experiment and try to find a way to make the best of both worlds, right? The structure of Unleashed levels that would still have kind of some openness. And it felt like they were going to do that because Generations opened it up a little bit more. And so I was like, okay. And then they had Classic Sonic, right? And so it just felt natural. It's like, oh. And even Generations modders did that, right? They were like, oh, why don't we just mod Classic Sonic so he can be 3D? And then now they're tweaking the rolling physics, trying to put Adventure 1 physics into Generations. Like, that's kind of what I thought Sonic Team was going to do. But then I guess Sonic Team lost a lot of those staff members. And so out of respect, they didn't use that work. And so then they were at square one. And then that's when you get Sonic Boom and the exclusivity deal with Nintendo. My guess is the full story is they panicked, right? A lot of people left after Generations. All eyes are on Sonic again because Generations did really well. And Sega's like, what do we do? What do we do? We don't have... What are we supposed to do? How do we follow this up? And I think it sucked because the Nintendo deal would have worked really well if the only console stinker Nintendo ever produced didn't release at the same for that exclusivity deal. The Wii U. Like, Sega was banking on, and it was a fair bet. Like, oh, the Nintendo console will sell really well because right before that was Wii, and Wii was a game changer. So they're like, oh, they're gonna do it again. We'll bank on them, and then we'll be relevant, and then we'll be able to figure it out later. We'll be able to hire people. Nope. The Wii U flopped hard. And so it's so funny because, like, I feel like that's why a lot of bad things really happened. And it's like, that's just the way life is, you know? Like, you try to make a good call, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Anyway, we're here now. What's that?
Philosophy with Evan.
I mean, I try to combine a little bit of philosophy in here, you know. It makes it feel a little less like we're just sitting here talking about a funny blue hedgehog that goes fast, which is the reality of the situation.
Life advice with Evan. This is awesome. You get a free life advice with every channel, with every stream you tune into on Tails channel.
I mean, I'm trying. I mean, I'm just talking about what I'm thinking. Okay, so chat. What are you guys thinking? Share your thoughts with us. We'll give you guys the floor. We still have quite a bit of time before we see stuff from Sonic Prime. There is no guarantee that the Sonic Prime footage will be anything different than what we saw at Sonic Central, but it really should be. It really should be something different.
It really, really should be. Yeah, if they want to keep people interested and riding on that wave of attention, then they'll show something different. But you know, this is that same company that tends not to make the greatest decisions. So
I got a super chat like 900 years ago, and I actually can't even access it anymore.
Oh, what?
I was gonna get back to it. Maybe I can. Maybe there's a way to get them.
You might have to just scroll up until you find it.
It's like blocked me out of like it was too far gone.
Here, let me.
I think I'm on the stream page. It might be like in my. What the heck? No. Oh, maybe somebody canceled it. It says no super chats. Okay. So I swear I saw one. I guess somebody canceled. Sorry. I just didn't want to miss it, but it's fine. It's all good. I appreciate the thought regardless. Yeah, I just found the tab where it shows me super chats and I don't see anything, so my bad.
Okay.
I'll take a screenshot to prove it. How about that? So if somebody's like, "No, I actually sent it." I'm just gonna save it.
You red pill them.
Because I don't want to refresh the page, because if I do, like, I might screw something up. Anyway, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to figure that out for you later on. Either way, the very next stream I do, I will shout you out. Maybe even more than once, because, like, that delay, that sucks. I feel you. Either way, we'll figure it out. All right, chat, what do you got? Rifu TD says, an Adventure 3 game would need to have a town full of people for Sonic to meet and interact with. Something that feels like a JRPG in terms of people on the street. It's not exactly ruled out that there won't be NPCs in this, right? Because they're going for this whole mysterious aspect, but like, is the Ghost Girl really gonna tell Sonic everything about this world? That would be kind of, I don't know. It wouldn't be interesting, right? There's gotta be NPCs that you rescue and the world slowly gets filled, like, or there has to be villages they're not showing us. Like, I guarantee you, they're gonna lean on text to explain this mystery, right? They're gonna drip feed the mystery to you, so you're kind of motivated to explore, which will be fun. I say drip feed, that's normally a negative thing, but like, that'll be fun. It'll be cool as long as it's presented in a way that's interesting and there's a lot of fun things to do. Let's talk about the action game aspect. So it's called Open Zone because so he was trying to say that they were thinking about an open action game first, and then adding open world elements to that to complement the action game. I think that's what he was saying. So it's like action game first.
I think open zone is a really interesting choice of words. Like,
I think they say zone because they, like, for example, the reality is that it's an open playground, right? That is the literal definition, but that doesn't, I don't know. Open zone sounds better, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it sounds
zone.
cool, but it also, they feel very insistent with the term open zone, which I wonder if that means that, you know, they're going to take more traditional elements and put them in this massive world, and you know, it makes me wonder. It makes me further wonder. You know, is there more to this that we are just not being shown?
Well, we'll have to. We won't know until we like see more footage of the action gameplay, like focus up front.
Yeah.
We've heard that there's missions where you got to race to a certain point, and you actually have to figure out the path that is the most effective to get there.
That sounds awesome.
What's that?
That sounds awesome. That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, that would be cool, right? Like trial and error, and going like, oh, there's a little spot over here, and like it shows you only like a light shooting up where you need to be, but exactly how you get there quickly is up to you. And so that kind of sounds neat. But again, we need to see. They mentioned action game based puzzles, but I feel like we've only seen the puzzles that are using your, like, he said, like brain, like mental puzzles. So I want to see those. Maybe they're hiding them. I mean, HD 40K DX says, question, will my Switch explode if I play Frontiers? Well, we haven't seen the Switch version yet, so if you somehow got an early copy of it that is not properly optimized for Switch, maybe don't do that. Sonic GT was a better playground to me, and that's a fan game. I mean, not
Okay.
of this world. The thing is, I mean, that one, that's subjective, but two, I mean, I agree. Sonic GT looks like definitely like playground. It does have like, it's weird though. It's almost like the same concept of linear Sonic level designs. They just take that line and make it very thick, because it still kind of guides you like towards a direction using hills, right? There's just a very thick line pathway, right? I'm pretty sure the maps are just a very thick path that has a lot of different routes next to each other. I just don't think that would work for this kind of like go any direction, because I don't know if in GT you can actually like backtrack all the way to the beginning. So I think it's just like a different concept, and I definitely think Sonic Team should try that. And when they experiment with momentum more, they should definitely try that. But that's an example of like something that's fundamentally different than this game. So comparing them, it's not really constructive, because what you're technically like, if you were going to convince yourself that comparing Frontiers to GT was constructive, like how does that make sense? Because you literally have to erase everything that exists to make it more like GT, right? The map has to be completely different. The way Sonic moves has to be completely different. In fact, the only thing that you wouldn't be, destroying to fix it, in your opinion, would be maybe Sonic's model. You might be able to keep it, I guess. It would look like GT, sort of. But that's an example of like, that's how you know, like if your intentions is actually to help. If you fundamentally do not like what the game is, that should be where you're not buying it, where you're, joking around and like coping with friends that also don't like that game, right? And get your and cope with it that way. But if you've convinced yourself that you're like, no, I'm helping, it's fundamentally broken and nothing they do will fix it, how are you helping? You're not helping. Like, people that feel that way already know that, and they're not gonna buy it, and they're probably spending their time doing something more positive and enjoying their life a little bit more than being like angry about something they can't change. So that's the kind of boundary, right? And I'm saying this not to like target somebody who does that, but to maybe help people that are excited about Frontiers engage with people who may behave that way and make the appropriate decision for themselves to omit themselves from the conversation and move forward. During this time, it can get very stressful on social media, so mental health is first. What is GT? Look up Sonic GT. It's a momentum-based Sonic platformer made by a fan. Definitely try it out. You can look up YouTube videos on it too. It's one of those things where like you just gotta watch a video and look at it for yourself. Sir Duke says, yeah, GT doesn't have much combat at all, and they probably wanted new combat gameplay for Frontiers. Yeah, they also, Sir Duke, probably wanted to, I mean, of course, like, Sonic GT is marketed towards Sonic fans because it's a fan game, right? So it's at Sage, and so that's their audience, right? And so fans have been looking for an open momentum game that has like focused level design, because before GT, the kind of pinnacle was Utopia, but the criticisms were, where's the direction? What's the mission? Where am I going? And so GT answered that. But again, consider the audience. The audience pool realistically is smaller. You're catering to Sonic fans, and so it's very easy. It's a very easy call to make. Oh, fans clearly want momentum-based gameplay. Sega is targeting not only fans, but like everyone, especially since the movie. So it's only natural that they're going to include elements that resemble Breath of the Wild and other hit open-world games. Because us as fans, we want to see the Sonic. We want anything that is the Sonic, and anything that resembles Sonic stuff and aesthetics, we go, whoa, right? We have that, like, what's that guy's face? What is it? He's like, and he's like pointing.
Oh, the soy jack thing. the soy jack
I'm
point
trying-
thing.
I
Is
just
that what
did
you're
it.
trying to mimic?
I'm trying to. So that's us when anything Sonic shows up, but that's not everybody.
I can't believe you sat there and asked what's the funny picture of the guy pointing at the screen?
I don't know what it's called, but like,
Oh my god, that's so funny.
but that's what we're like when we see it, right? But like other people that aren't Sonic fans are like that when they see something that they recognize that isn't Sonic, and so they're doing that when they see Breath of the Wild stuff, right? That's what they're excited about. And so it's only natural, yes, we're not excited about it because, you know, we've seen it in other games and we choose Sonic because we like Sonic, but they're considering their target audience, and it's cool that that Azuka literally said there is adult Sonic fans, and he basically just said like, that's okay.
Evan, is this picture you when Sonic news comes out?
Did you just take a
Look in the-
screenshot? Oh my god.
No, look in the group chat. Is this you and Sonic?
No! I don't have a neck beard. I don't have a
What's
neck
the
beard.
picture of the guy pointing at the screen going, oh, that actually made my day.
It's because I know you use the meme. I did that for you, all right? I'm going to show the picture on screen that Gerbil just sent me. He says, is that me? God. And now somehow everything minimized that I needed to look at. Give me a sec here. Oh,
this is so funny. Evan just essentially asked me what a Wojak was.
I don't know what that is.
It's just
am I supposed to know what that is?
No. You're valid. It's just like it's so hard. It's just all the funny pictures of like the nerdy dudes looking at the screen, pointing at the screen and stuff.
It's making fun of thumbnails, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got a screenshot that like point to the camera soy jack thing you did. I'm gonna make an edit out of that.
I did that for
hilarious.
you. It was for you. I knew what I was doing. Come on. All right. So of course you can ask questions. Sorry. You know, we're very excited. I cannot believe what just happened in this interview. I was not expecting this. That must have been what Dreadnox, creator of Sonic Stadium, was talking about when he said this interview is real good. That might also curb conspiracy theories, actually, now that I mention it. So who knows? Who knows? We can never know. So let's just put those past us. Metal X4473 says, hey, Tails channel. Since Sonic Frontiers will be the first game that includes combat, how come Sonic fans or some fans don't show the same positive energy as Breath of the Wild? I mean, I think it's context, right? So it becomes confusing, and I'm assuming a lot about you. All I know is a display picture and a username. But like I said at the beginning of the stream, when the Sonic's reception becomes confusing when you don't have context, right? When you're outside of the context, it seems like Sonic fans are ungrateful. But the reality is that Sonic has been very experimental and changed his foundations a lot. And so it's only natural that there's going to be people in different camps. Zelda hasn't really done that. Its formula has been kind of... It's what people kind of expected Classic Sonic to do, and kind of a lot of people have wished Classic Sonic did, is kind of iterate on the foundations established in the classic games. And so what that means is that fans of Zelda, they don't have as many iterations to kind of like pick different camps. And so Breath of the Wild was the first really big shift in their format. And having a consistent format for so long, and also having it really polished, they developed that trust with their consumer base, right? And so when they go, okay, we've been doing similar things, you know, innovating here and there, right? I'm not saying that every Zelda game is the same. They do iterate, but it's strategic and very, you know, incremental. But Sonic's not like that at all, right? We would not use incremental to describe Sonic's experimentation. So when you have this like this consumer trust, when you say, okay, we're gonna do something very different, obviously your consumer base is gonna be like, oh my god, this is exciting, because they know that they're in for a treat and it's fresh, and they trust that the creators are going to pay tribute to the foundations. The reality is that Sonic doesn't have that. You can make the argument that it's good that he was so experimental, and that's why you liked it, and that's how you got into the fan base to begin with, is them experimenting. But, and that could be why Sonic is quite so big, right? But it's also why there's so many fights, because there's so many different camps.
This is what I think. This is what I think should happen. I think what they should do is they should go back to the 90s. And this is gonna make everyone really upset. This is gonna make everyone seething. They're gonna go back to the 90s. They're gonna go back to the 90s. They gotta pick up from where Sonic R left off and make a full 3D classic Sonic inspired 90s Sonic game. And then it'll be perfect. And then everything will be perfect.
Hey,
nothing exists after that.
Hey, Gerbil, is this you? Is this you?
You can't use my own logic against me. You can't use my own logic against me like that.
It was a good show. Remember
Oh my god, you remember the 90s? It was epic.
Everything was better in the 90s.
I'm just saying that the classic characters are cooler than the modern characters. And the games are cooler. And
what I will say about and I'm like right in the middle of classic and modern fans. That's why I like SA1 so much, because I can't, like, when SA1 came out and like around the same time we were getting like Sonic Advance as well, and so it really just felt like, oh, they're gonna bring everything together. They're gonna, like, just like I was saying about Breath of the Wild, right? Like, it's incrementally different, but it still feels like the foundation is there.
Yeah.
And then they just eventually, like, I guess like Sonic Adventure's like reception being the way it was, they got like scared. They're like, oh no, we're losing them, and then they just like kind of like started like panicking.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely this whole thing. It feels like a result of the bad reception, and that's okay. That's what companies do.
Sonic Adventure isn't bad. You guys are just mean.
I knew that comment would set people off in the chat. That was my plan.
So, I was actually going to talk about classic characters. So I will say that Tails, Knuckles, like Knack,
you mean Fang.
Bark.
What you mean to say is Fang the sniper. I don't know this Knack the Weasel guy. I've never heard of him.
I gotta do it out of respect for Shanny, okay?
No. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I will
His
laugh
name
so hard if he shows up in the chat.
Fang. I think it would be great if he shows up in the chat so I can call him out.
I think all those characters, I actually do prefer their designs. Shadow, well, something about them, I think they stopped changing their like heights and body types or something. No, like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails were very different, right? Knuckles had like a bigger body and was like much taller than Sonic, and Tails was much shorter. But then they kind of started to like uniform them all in the modern era.
Yeah, they did. It really superficially too. If I can interject about the character design, if we're talking seriously here, I don't necessarily think that classic Sonic or the 90s era Sonic has better designs than the modern cast. I think there are a lot of modern characters that have really awesome designs, but I feel like the designs for the classic characters, especially the Chaotix, are way more abstract and interesting. But there are some slick designs, like Shadows is awesome, Rouge's is great, Blazes is awesome, but I feel like they both hit different marks of quality in different ways. So obviously, the people who view Sonic as a franchise that represents more progressive attitude and more progressive, like, the concept of cool will like the modern designs more because they feel like they're adaptive to a different time. But with the classic designs, they just feel really just out there, like stylized. I really like them.
Well,
like,
here's an interesting thing I noted, because I try to draw in the Adventure 1 style, right? The best I can. And I had a lot of trouble. I can actually literally show you guys examples. I had a lot of trouble because I wanted specifically to draw Shadow in SA1 style, where they're really like rubbery. But Shadow is very angular, right? His quills are angular. His hand positions are typically very angular, normally only being like in a, closed hand. What is this even called? Like a chop hand or a fist, or like his fingers are all like flexed. And
yeah, that's really awesome.
I like that, but I also realized Blaze is like that, and then I realized Silver is like that, and then I realized, wait a minute, they strayed away, because like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, and a lot of the classic characters, I bet you Vector, Espio, and Charmy would look excellent in that like graffiti, rubber hose, like bendy style. But I think something like fundamentally changed in their design rules, and it became more angular and rigid, which isn't a problem.
Absolutely.
but it was
No,
different.
let me tell you something. The Sonic from the early 2000s, leading up to about 2006, it was always stylized. Sonic was always stylized, maybe with the exception of Shadow the Hedgehog, but I'd say that's stylized to an extent. It was trying to match the art better. And Sonic always had some sort of stylization to his model. Every single game, it had some sort of stylization. Now, when we get to Unleashed, despite how much everyone loves that game, and I don't like that game, but I think
Am I the only one that likes Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah. Oh my god. Take to Twitter about it. I bet you are one of a kind with that opinion. The model for Sonic Unleashed feels like the most corporate definition of what Sonic would look like. It's what I feel Sonic would look like if you told someone about Sonic and described Sonic to them, but had none of the attitude or style. It feels like such a corporate, base level design model of Sonic. Like, just with nothing. No love, no detail. It just feels like a high poly, boring Sonic model. And when a franchise is founded and developed on its extreme sense and ability to stylize their characters and world and designs, it's really upsetting. Like, it's really, really upsetting.
I mean, I've been preaching that for so long, but I mean, again, context matters. So at the time of release, the model of Unleashed was really, really cool. And I get why people remember it fondly, right? Because it was a shift, and the 06 model got a lot of criticism for being like too tall. And I think the modern Sonic as we know it is kind of trying to be a combination of like what people saw as cute with classic Sonic. And I think that's the corporate part you're talking about, right? Because a corporation will see Sonic and go, oh, he's cute. Like Hello Kitty Pikachu, like let's market him that way because there's a playbook and they know what's successful. The same reason why we're getting things that resemble Breath of the Wild here, right? That's what feels corporate. Now, not to say that modern Sonic is, again, fundamentally flawed and you're bad for liking it. No, this is all my opinion. This is all Gerbil's opinion. But that's the kind of element we're talking about is like literally the developers of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 distinctly said that Sonic was supposed to not be cute. But his design does lend to being cute. And so it was only inevitable before the company was like, we want money. We want him to be cute. And so they made him cute. And so if that being the right or wrong choice is entirely up to you. You could argue that it is the most effective business decision, but at the sacrifice of the identity of the character.
Oh, absolutely. I want to preface the fact that if you can't differentiate my opinion from fact, then that is a you problem, because this is entirely just my opinion.
It's only because we're on Tails channel, that's all.
Yeah, I just seen a few comments. It's trying to take jabs at me, which is funny. But like, if you enjoy the Unleashed model, then yeah, you think it's the peak Sonic, then like Godspeed to you. It's doing something right. But I just think personally, it doesn't hold a merit or any sort of candle to the stylization of the models that came before it. Even you know, it's a problem when the Sega Superstars tennis game has a more stylized and interesting model than the main Sonic model at the forefront.
Wait,
it's just really strange.
Which game? The first tennis
Okay,
one?
so Sega Superstars Tennis, I grew up with that game. I'm a 2002 baby. That's when I was born.
The model looked weird in that game. What are you talking about?
No, what do you mean? It's literally like the modern Sonic model, but it's got better proportions, it's got better colors, it has better rounding off of the
I do not remember it fondly.
Not a problem.
Okay, so I actually, looking back at this, I'm surprised they're just like straight up using footage of Breath of the Wild. I didn't realize that. Like, they're just able to, or I guess that's technically IGN doing that, right? So I guess that's fine. Okay, so chat, I understand. We've been kind of going back and forth with our opinions. So what are your opinions, you know? And I will specifically be looking for opinions that are critical of ours, but are respectful. So yeah, try to steer the conversation in the other way. I'm all ears. I'm open to what you guys have to say. What's the point of this discussion if not to go somewhere new?
Look at our DMs if you can. Our little DM group if you can, Evan. That's the model. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'm not saying this is good.
Tennis.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't mean the tennis one. That one's been on my mind because I've been playing it a lot. The Sega Superstar PS2.
Superstars,
Yeah,
which
the
is
iToy one. The iToy one. Sorry.
It's like an up-res or like a higher poly count version of the SA2 model without soap shoes.
Exactly. My tweak. Yep, exactly. That one.
I love it.
That one's competitive of an already existing model, and it's perfect. I mean, it's perfect for what it's trying to be at the very least. And you pair that up to something like the Unleash model, and like, it just looks so bland. Like, it's like they got everything good about that model and just simplified it, but like just made the poly count higher. It's a fundamental problem, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to speak my mind here. There is a fundamental identity crisis with Sonic, and it's a lack of stylization, and it's the inability to dive into these environments that we had previously seen, like these surreal and abstract environments, like the environments from Heroes, the environments from, you know, SA1, from the classics. We haven't seen this tapped in approach to abstractism or surrealism that we got in the early 2000s, and it's a crucial part of Sonic's identity. It always has been. It's what the series founded part of its success on. I will be the negative Andy. Negative Andy.
I'm the negative Andy. I was gonna say Nancy, but negative Andy is better. So I'm gonna be the negative Andy and say that I think getting that identity that you're talking about I think that should be something where that they strive to achieve in like a sequel to Mania or the rumored Sonic 5. This is where I made a video called "Is Multiple Sonics Bad?" in reference to like Boom Sonic, Movie Sonic, Game Sonic. And to kind of, I mean, it was like nearly, I think it was like a 30-minute video because it was live and I trimmed it down. I did trim it down though. There's quick cuts in it. So if you're looking for fast-paced long content, I spoke about it live too with our community. So I did the same thing where I'm trying to get like opposing opinions to come to some sort of conclusion. And the conclusion we came to, multiple Sonics being bad, it's like the more Sonics you have can be damaging, of course. But if you can narrow them down, oh god, I accidentally pressed the button. If you can narrow them down, and they're distinct and intentional, and they offer something that the other one doesn't. So what you're describing, right? These abstract, stylized worlds. I think because we have such a large fracture of the community that fell in love with Sonic in the hyper-realism and in that kind of stuff, integrating Sonic into the real world, and now it's kind of doubled up too with Movie Sonic. I think there's a place for like a modern Sonic that exists in this kind of frontiers world we're seeing, where it's more photorealism, but you know, it's got a little bit of imaginary spins here and there. But then that way, if there's another pillar that is focused on abstraction, stylization, and it's classic Sonic, and maybe even that's where they place momentum, and they decide that modern Sonic is about these kind of the more automated approach. I tried to, the reason I stuttered is because I want to describe it in a way that doesn't communicate my bias as much. But I do understand that the only path to success for modern Sonic doesn't necessarily need to be momentum. I've been on record multiple times saying that it does not have to be momentum, though I would prefer momentum. And I'm on Gerbil's side when it comes to, I think that is Sonic's foundation, and I think it should be part of Sonic's future. But when I tie that to the discussion I had with you, chat, about multiple Sonics, I think they kind of need to coexist, considering where we are, right? Again, that's one of those things where if you don't have the context, you might just be like, why would you have two Sonics? Like, just have one Sonic, man. Like, why are they competing? You don't have the context. You literally...
Could I possibly say something a little bit controversial that some of you might disagree with?
I mean, you might as well.
It gets the conversation going, and that's what I want to happen. You don't have to agree with me. But I think, obviously I've stated before that Sonic has an identity crisis. But the reason why this is because Sonic has been mishandled, or handled. Sorry, I don't want to say the word mishandled because there are very much fans of these interpretations of Sonic. But because it's been handled and handed off without much care to so many different developers and people, such as the, certain Western branches and certain companies, like, I'm not going to name any specific ones, but a certain Red Button. These multiple renditions of Sonic and his gameplay and his design and his style have spawned these fans, and these valid fans that, you know, care about their rendition of Sonic. But the fundamental problem is, regardless of how much you love that rendition of Sonic, it is ultimately a result from a lack of consistency among the representation of that icon. And the fact of the matter is, if we kept things completely consistent, Sonic would be nowhere near the same as he is today. It would be a completely different landscape. And you know what I say to that? They're like happy accidents. Like, as much as I don't like SatAM, there are fans of SatAM, and there are passionate fans of SatAM, and Godspeed to them. But the result of SatAM isn't necessarily an intentional result based on the views of the original devs. It just happens because they needed a different representation of Sonic for a different audience. And so the reason we have so much discourse in this community is because there are so many representations and designs and takes on Sonic out of a desire to appeal to so many different audiences. And that's part of the problem. But again, it's a problem that I say tentatively because they spawned franchises and sub-franchises that people really care about.
Yeah.
And that's my red pill for today.
Those are valid, which is why I'm pretty adamant on there being multiple Sonics, but we should reduce them where possible. Like, there's a lot of crossover, right? Like, yes, I don't necessarily think we're ever going to get Sally in the main series games. Okay. But it's clear that the focus of SatAM, you know, the intention, the foundation was a story where Sonic is up against the odds. It's story focused. There is like good character development and interesting like drama between the characters. That is an itch that can be scratched with modern Sonic. And so you may not like it, fans of SatAM specifically, but that's where my opinion would be. If it was up to me, we would try to cater to that audience with modern Sonic hyperrealism, story focused, more automation. I would include that group in that target audience if it was up to me. So I'm getting a lot of people asking,
it's okay to say that as well. I think it's completely okay to say that. Yeah, no, it's okay for you to say that if I had things my way, this Sonic wouldn't exist. Because that's how it is. You grew up with a different rendition of Sonic. You've learned to love and grow from that rendition of Sonic. If I had it my way, we wouldn't have modern Sonic. But I understand that there are so many fans of modern Sonic. And that's incredible and amazing. And you know?
Yeah, I'm also prioritizing the various, because we say inconsistent, but there has been various levels of consistency for periods of time. And so I'm prioritizing eras of Sonic that had a stretch of consistency. So as much as I don't like this automation, and I don't like them leaning on the automation and the boost formula, because again, in the context, at the time of Sonic Unleashed, I really liked the idea because it seemed to work really well, because they were struggling in a 3D, a really open adventure style level designs thing with 06. So the context is I liked Unleashed with that, but leaning on it for so long became frustrating. So, but that's fine. But they've been leaning on it for so long that that's a totally valid, consistent pillar in the series that I think should stay, because it's been for so long. The unfortunate reality is with SatAM, it was just one show. And there are other shows that are like that. We're not about to bring Sonic Underground back. Like, it's just one of those things that has to be lost.
Let me specify real quick. I really want to make this aware because I don't want any content, like, you know, me being taken out of context. I am glad that modern Sonic is a thing. I'm glad that all these representations of Sonic are a thing. But you have to understand that they are a result of misinterpretation. And inability to stay consistent.
It's like the intention was bad, right? Because it was clearly corporate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the product you get is bad. I think that's what we're saying, right? Like it's clear that Sega was like, we gotta have Sonic everywhere. We need a cartoon, and like the devs of the cartoon or the game were like, we don't really have the story hashed out yet, and Sega was like, whatever, we'll do it ourselves. That kind of thing. So
yeah. No, absolutely.
And when you're older, and again, if we have younger fans in the audience watching, when you're older, it just becomes increasingly, you know, when you get your own job, you're getting paid, you start to watch the news more often just because you're older, you're becoming boring and sad. You become more aware of how companies work, and so then when you start looking at Sega, the company you worked with, or that you grew up with, and you should start noticing those things. I will say though, what we need to focus on, and what I always try to focus on, is the positive part of that, which is that Sega is uniquely attentive to the fan base. Ryan just sent us a message in the chat, so I should definitely reinforce that. Ryan here, while you're enjoying the broadcast, feel free to share this stream, follow our feeds, and drop a donation/super chat. Your support is appreciated.
Hell yeah, support us so we can keep talking about Sonic the Hedgehog.
In the middle of reading that, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have read that. But, oh, Mixed Media, you're here again. Super dedicated. We have 5 minutes until Geeked Week, the gaming portion of Geek Week starts, and Sonic Prime is allegedly the headliner. It's really just the order of titles they put. The whole section is supposed to be an hour long, but I'm pretty sure that if it ends up being that Prime starts off the show, we might only just watch that portion, because I got a lot of work to do today, and so if I can head out early, I will. And Gerbil's also, what time is it for you?
Yeah, with that, I might bail. It's 3 a.m. I have had an amazing time talking to you. Let's do this more often. Thank you in the chat for letting me speak my mind and, you know, starting that conversation. It's an important conversation to have. And have a good night.
Thank you so much, Gerbil, for being here and giving
My
your
pleasure.
side. Have a good night, bud.
Have a good one.
Sweet. Gerbil is my classic Sonic fan friend. I got friends that are kind of all scattered through every era of Sonic, and that's like their favorite. Even though I don't prefer Sonic Unleashed, we are having an animator that you may know, Sonic Pox, coming on tomorrow at 3 p.m. This is a big one. I'm about to like do almost like Tails Channel direct drop on you guys right now. Ready? I'm having 2 professional game developers that work in the industry right now, along with an animator that works in the game industry right now. We're going to break down everything that has been said about Frontiers so far tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about the Sonic Frontiers situation. If you want your questions answered by a professional, if you have something that hasn't really sit right with you, or there's something about the gameplay that you don't quite understand, do they have enough time to fix the animations? Do they have enough time to fix the pop-ins? Why does, like, graphically, how is it put together, right? Like, what stage are they at? All of those questions, I am going to be having a one-on-one with them, each one at a time. The animator in question is going to be Sonic Pox. You've seen him on Twitter many times. That is the only guest I will reveal for now, but the other 2 will remain a mystery. But I can guarantee you that they work for well-known companies in the video game industry, so they know what the standard is, they know what the process is, and I know a lot of people say, oh, you're just a Sonic tuber, or you're just this. So, like, you don't really know what you're talking about. So if you're looking for a live stream where it's going to be as constructive as possible, and you want to know realistically what the future of Sonic Frontiers is, there's really no better place than tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a super chat from IngVT, the Toon Cat channel. Thank you so much for the $2. Saturn era Sonic from the JP 3D Blast art is underrated. Saturn era Sonic from that. Oh, you're talking about the 2D art of that era. Oh yeah, that was like right before SA1 too. Absolutely, I love that era. Again, like, if it was up to me, we can't get rid of the Sonic movie pillar, that's for sure. So that one's staying. But like, if it were up to me, modern Sonic would heavily lean into like graffiti SA1, like whoa, and just be so like wacky in that way and playful. But I would obviously want a Mania 2 and let them do, like Gerbil was saying, the imaginative worlds that really bend reality. Not exactly like Lost World, though. Lost World seemed to kind of belittle the classic games and making it overly cartoony. It always felt like while Sonic was in a cartoony world in the classic games, it felt like the lighting was supposed to be realistic. That's always the impression I got from pixel art. I started with Sonic CD, which was not so bright and colorful like Sonic 2. So that might be why, right? This weird contrast of like cartoony, but also like dangerous and dark. That's specifically what I'm talking about. Lost World, I really did not like. You need contrast, right? Like, it's the same reason why, like, I don't, like, you add shading to a drawing. You need contrast to understand the 3 dimensions in the drawing. And when you have it just, I know they were going for a different look with Lost World and they were going for a different approach, but the Sonic fan in me was just like, nah, it's too Mario for me, bro. Like, I'm interested in getting into Mario, but if I'm getting into Mario, I'm gonna buy Mario. And I don't have a problem with Frontiers taking notes from Breath of the Wild here and there, and I don't have a problem with any Sonic game taking some notes for, you know, business sense, right? Like, they're using their business skills. They're going, okay, I'm trying to run a business, Sega, so I got to appeal to not only Sonic fans, I got to appeal to people outside of that. And so, yeah, you got to do some things that the consumers are excited about, that are looking to see. It's just about the ratio, right? There needs to be a proportion of new and like fresh ideas that feel true to Sonic or modern Sonic. We're going to talk about different foundations now, since my ideal world is that there's more than one pillar. I think it's too late for us to say that. Also, I think it's wrong. Classic Sonic elitism is kind of, you know what I mean? Dude, Evan, what the F are you talking about? You buy whatever you want. Kevin, what do you think I'm saying? What do you think I'm saying? Guys, stop buying Sonic games. Don't buy Sonic games. What are you talking about? I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you don't like the concept of Frontiers, don't buy it. What are you doing?
I feel like we were at
Here we go.
That's
a weird start.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, there's Jeff. So this might have been what he was talking about.
This year, though, we've also got Netflix games, and I'm thrilled to have Netflix as part of the Summer Game Fest this year.
This is totally what he was talking about.
Watching on the Game Awards channel right now.
And also to everyone co-streaming on Twitch.
That's right. It's not just about me. It's about everyone in the community who's here for the big breaking news.
That's right. All week long, Netflix has been dropping trailers and big news about series and movies. I think
Sonic's going to start.
But today, it is all about
totally what he was talking about, guys.
It's all about games, baby.
That's right, Mario. And you know, last year when we were here, it was just shows based on games. But today, we'll also be announcing some games based on shows. You guys with us? Plus, some well-loved mobile games are coming to Netflix.
I misunderstood you, Evan. I'm sorry. Oh,
it's all good. Developers like Devolver Digital.
I was talking for so long. I wouldn't be surprised if you like half fell asleep.
So shows, games,
and you just didn't even know you did.
Netflix and games right
Maybe I had a stroke while talking.
Which is a lot to unpack. This is the very first time we get to cover Netflix games and this incredible lineup. There's so much. There's so much.
Oh, I still have my music on.
So are we going to start?
I just fit with their broadcast.
That's a good question. We're announcing a brand new series based on a massively popular video game, which doesn't give you a lot, but I'm sure you'll tell us what we're talking about.
I know, it could just be about anything, but it is a world-exclusive trailer. You know I love those. Check this out.
Oh God, Sonic. Chaos Emerald?
Dragon Age Absolution. This is exciting because
I know what you guys are thinking.
Awaiting the next Dragon Age game. I think we announced it at the Game Awards.
You guys are just here for Sonic. I know.
And while we wait for the game, now we get an incredible new show, and it looks amazing.
Was that edited? Incredible new show.
It's called Dragon Age
Absolution. Yeah, I played Inquisition, and I remember
they're gonna do this thing
so much lore when it comes
where
to
they talk about nothing.
And so I'm really
kind of like I do,
like you said,
for like 20 minutes.
And how all of
See, I would be perfect here.
Spoon-fed to me because
I would love to be.
It's just the best.
You guys want to see me here? I would love to do this kind of stuff. Talking about nothing.
It's been a while since we've had new Dragon Age lore. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a game.
I'm being mean. It's what I mean by nothing is like.
I think the game even.
I mean, with Dragon Age,
they can't say anything, so they're just reacting to what they saw.
It's really cool to expand on the Dragon Age.
How long is this event?
Absolutely, it looks great. That was a nice surprise.
The game portion of Netflix Geeked, I think, is from 1 to 2.
And that's not all. Here's a closer look at the brand new poster for the show that we are premiering here on Geek Week. Check it out.
Who is she?
I know.
Yeah.
That's what's cool is I love now that the game companies
seriously,
and Netflix
who is she?
are thinking about this stuff holistically and kind of introducing like lore.
Yeah, we want to see you there.
Sometimes in an
talking about absolutely nothing. I would love that.
Before the game, hopefully it's somehow
I would say.
in. I have no idea who that. Hopefully it's a new.
I would literally say that on stage. I'd be like, well,
I want to know what
hey Jeff, you want to talk about nothing for a couple minutes?
She might be an elf, but who knows?
What's her name?
Yeah, what's her name?
No, that would be incredibly insulting to the creators. So I obviously wouldn't do that. That would be
answers to today.
Because that would be implying the stuff they made is nothing, which is not what I'm saying.
The series looks incredible. Right, we are going to keep our eyes on that.
Why is OBS on the Twitter feed? Is it?
Gaming, and if you want to rewatch that gorgeous trailer, we just put it up on Twitter at Netflix Geeked.
Oh, you mean like
This
why
next
does
series
why
is sure
is there a
to
Twitter
be
feed
are you
on
ready?
OBS?
Yep.
Hit!
It's so when like for example when we
Yes.
see
We're
stuff
talking about
on Prime.
Tekken Bloodline.
I thought they were about to. Okay, so when we see stuff for Prime, you're gonna see like everyone posting about it. That's kind of why we, and it's very convenient because I can just like scroll right here and see what people are saying. Cess, one time I even like saw a tweet you tweeted,
The king.
and I like
Tekken, I gotta
talked
say,
about
when I
it.
was
Like
a
it's
kid
cool. I
growing
like
up
it.
in Canada,
It's a good idea.
I loved playing Tekken in the arcades and then on PlayStation. This is such a classic fighting franchise. It's been a few years since we've had a new Tekken, but now this iconic fighting game franchise is now in anime, coming to Netflix, and is sure to please.
I can't
old
believe
and new
Tekken is
fans
only
alike.
now an anime.
Yeah, I mean, again, the animation
It's
style
for the
is
Twitter
so
addiction.
interesting.
Yes, I
Today
cannot
we
go
have a
without
special treat for
5 minutes
Tekken
without
fans,
looking at a Twitter feed.
message from
That's the
creator
truth.
Katsuhiro Hirada. I'm
You
so
got me.
excited to see it. Let's roll it.
力こそ全てだ。皆さんこんにちは。バンダイナムコで
Wait, this heart, for example, is like, oh, it's an anime style. It's out of
That
respect,
was so cool.
you know?
Harada, I mean, that's Mr. Tekken. So to have him,
Yeah.
that's what I love about all this stuff that Netflix does is Harada's directly involved, as you can see, in building this out.
I'd
and
love to see
partnering
Sonic do the same
with
kind of
Netflix to
2D,
make
3D
a
effect
Tekken
like that with a show.
story, which,
Yes.
again, I
'Cause
wouldn't
Sonic is
guess the
also
Tekken anime would be on the,
uniquely
on the menu,
set up
but it looks
to
incredible.
I mean, like
to
you
not
said,
be
it's
judged
for
as
the fans
harshly like
from
Dragon Ball,
the
right?
source itself,
Because Sonic
which makes it
has looked
so,
really good
so
in
much
3D
better.
and 2D.
Cool fighting, of course. I think that's
So
all
combine
gonna
them
be
together?
implemented, but it sounds like there's going to be so much more depth.
You can
to
get all the
story.
like
We're gonna
it
really
would be
get
like
to
a
see
cool
Jin
mishmash of
and
like
his
stuff you've
mother
seen Sonic
Jun's
do
sort
well
of
before, but in a
relationship and
new,
what all of
fresh,
that means
creative
for the entire
combination.
series itself.
Oh.
Very excited.
I was gonna say, and I'm
I-
sure
what
there's
I
gonna be
really
some
want is a Sonic
incredible
Battle
action
2
we would
or a
expect, and
remake
it's so cool
by
to see
Arxis.
Harada-san, good to see you, my friend.
And they do it in
hope he's also
the
working on another
promotional
Tekken
art style,
game,
that
but
thick,
he is an icon
angular
in the
line art
fighting
of
game
Sonic
community
Battle.
and a badass in his own right, a legendary personality, and of course, legendary sunglasses, legendary outfits. Harada always shows up with style.
Yeah, where can we get the Harada glasses, huh?
I was gonna say, we should end the show in our Harada glasses.
We should. Be sure to head over to Twitter for more Tekken news at Netflix.
Did the interview
Geeked
already
to
happen?
stay
Yeah,
on top
check it
of
out on IGN's
And
YouTube
for all
channel.
things anime, you know what to do. Smash that follow button on Twitter.
It's like Jeff
for
doesn't know what
Netflix
camera is on.
Anime.
So if you didn't know, over the last year, Netflix has started including a bunch of great mobile games as part of your membership.
That's right. This is a brand new thing Netflix introduced late
Battle
last
Arxis,
year.
don't give me
and there
hope.
are no ads,
It's a dream.
no microtransactions, and a huge variety of games that are constantly being updated for everyone who's a Netflix subscriber, no additional cost.
Here's a taste of the games you can find right now.
It's okay, Eric. What's music?
I
That
want that as my
happened.
theme song. I love that.
It's so
music.
good. It's so diverse, and I feel like my Netflix homepage in general looks that diverse too, with the stuff that I watch, and
Yeah.
to see that reflected in the
You know,
games,
in a
it's
spray
really
paint
cool.
can,
To
the
start,
little
we have
ball
a
you have to
few
shake
based off
around.
of some of the
I
most
felt like I was the
popular
ball.
Netflix series.
Our first
when that
one
music
is
was
coming to you
playing.
straight from the fold. That's right, Shadow and Bone is getting
I'm very
a
critical
game,
of
y'all.
art
Shadow and Bone
looking
Destinies is a narrative
similar
RPG
to
with
each other.
roguelike elements based on the
It's the same
beloved
reason
show
why, like,
based on
I
Lee
wish the
Bardugo's books.
overworld and Frontiers
In
looked
this
a little
game,
bit
you
more
play as your
unique.
favorite characters and journey across
I like the
world
ruins
of
in
the
Frontiers, though.
Witcherverse in a
Right? That's the
narrative
unique part.
adventure to
So I like it.
fulfill Your destinies. Ooh, chills.
Along the way, you'll need to make decisions that will determine the course of your journey.
Remind me to look
It's
up that
being
song
created
later.
by
What the-
Chimera Entertainment.
Dude, when
And we
Prime gets
actually
shown,
learned on
I'm
Monday
going.
that the production has officially wrapped
like,
on season 2 of the show.
yo,
So, Shadow and Bone fans,
Asu-
you're eating good
Tune,
this year.
Asu
Whether
Tune.
you're a Darklina stan or a Melina
I don't even know you.
Supremacy,
How am I gonna remind you?
Whatever that means, be sure to follow Netflix Geeked on Instagram.
Okay, so Jeff, you were saying
Yes.
that there's a wide variety of games on Netflix, which is true. And I got a look at your second game today, and yeah, I think this is exactly for you. They finally made a game for your personal favorite Netflix show.
Nailed it.
Jeff, I'm very excited.
What? Too hot to handle. Oh my god. Coming from developer Nanobit, based off the hit, that's right, hit Netflix reality show.
Wait a minute.
It is, you're right, Mari.
What?
Too hot to handle the game.
See, finally, Jeff, They've been listening to you.
The Twitch chat, I'm sure, is just, I can't even imagine what's going off now in the chat, guys. But here you go, Too Hot to Handle. This is actual real game.
I don't know how to use
It is
my Steam
coming
Deck.
to Netflix.
That's right.
Too
and
Hot
just
to
like
Handle?
Too Hot to Handle, the series. Expect the game
Okay,
to
I'm taking a
feature
nap,
lots of,
Evan. Please wake me up when
innuendos
Sonic
and
Prime has an
fun
alarm.
plot
Thank you.
twists and, of
Are you gonna
course,
keep the stream up open?
romance.
I'll tell you to wake up.
Mesmerized watching.
Just
the
say, just
dialogue
keep like,
go off there.
if you're on your phone,
Select your
yeah, just like
outfit. Oh my God.
put your phone next to your ear.
The game follows the TV show rules, and the player's goal is to find
I don't know
the
if you're
best partner
like
by
if you're a
going
heavy
through
sleeper, but
episodes and
I'll
making
tell you to
their
wake
own
up. I don't know if it'll
decisions.
work.
Basically, their own season. How fun is that?
Too Hot to Handle the game. This show. I hate watched it, and it is like I can't even get through
We
it.
should just read. We should just
It's not
read
for
the
me.
B-roll of Too Hot to Handle for the rest of the show. Anyways, I'm definitely not getting the prize money, I don't think, but I'll try.
Ugh,
Yeah,
God.
again, out of all the
Just look
games
up
that
the
are being announced
premise.
today, I
You
will
don't
tell
have
you,
to.
walking in the
If you don't know
store
what it
this
is, just
morning,
look up
I
the
did not
premise, and you
expect
will.
Too Hot to Handle
That will be
game.
all you
right,
need
well,
to
the show
know
is
to understand my
absolutely
reaction.
Insane. If
Yeah,
you
sleeping
haven't
with
seen
the
it, so if
stream
you
up.
want to dive in while you
No
wait
problem.
for the game.
I'll try to wake
Too
you
Hot
up.
to Handle is
Hopefully
on
it works.
Netflix. The first 3 seasons right now.
Okay, Jeff.
Watch it come
don't
right now.
know about
Can we
you.
recover from that, Mari?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's ever recovering from that.
Season 4.
Season 4.
And
Get
it's
this
gonna
guy
happen.
on the show.
Evan, I am
All
scared.
right, well, so now we gotta. Where do we go from there, right?
We're
I'm like-
pivoting.
If Sonic
We're
is after
pivoting
Too Hot to Handle-
straight to some badass action.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but my Netflix list is this conglomeration of the Too Hot to Handles, you know, the reality TV shows, and then also like epic, awesome, badass stories. So,
It's not
yeah,
Sonic.
Of course, we're going to be talking about that next.
Okay, well, we've got some epic stories and even more epic games like our next one, La Casa de Papel.
Not Sonic.
Ooh, intriguing.
It's too
This
hot to
is an
handle. You
adventure
had to
game
wake up from your
featuring
nap
an
to say
original
that. Oh, I gotta say
standalone
this.
story set in the La Casa de Papel universe.
It's got a cool cel-shaded look. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Neat.
Are you ready to sneak by cameras, crawl through vents, hack security systems, and silently knock out your enemies to pull off the world's biggest heist?
Metal Gear Papel, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is a huge international phenomenon.
This
show.
isn't epic.
And it's so cool. Again, it's
Well, we
like,
got a whole
This is a
hour,
real
and so-
adaptation, and I think it's a very
Okay, sorry,
stylized
good night. It's not
take on the game.
nighttime.
I was like joking, like Metal Gear. It's like obviously it's a very action-oriented heist sort of game, and this is, feels very strategic too in how you go through it. So it looks like they've got safe cracking and everything.
That's right. Safe cracking, lock picking mini games, shooting sequences, and of course, the heist going awry.
By the end of the game, you'll know how
Anything
to.
can happen.
That's right. I
rob
don't know how to do
somebody.
it so
Like,
quietly. I just feel
jeez.
there's
I
so
feel like
much
every
noise in
game
the
though has got to have
vents.
some kind of vent, right?
Yeah, you gotta have the
I know this might be a little
Vent call.
controversial, but
There's
sometimes I
all
kind of
this and
understand
much,
why
much
parents
more
are
in
like,
the game
maybe,
based on La Casa de Papel.
maybe wait till you're older to play
Now,
video
speaking
games.
of classic Netflix shows
Oh.
over the past few years, we all
Classic.
remember when the Queen's Gambit
no, it's not.
inspired a chess revolution.
That's right.
I thought for sure, like, because
Everyone
that's
was
just,
watching that
it feels
show,
like that's
and
how people
then
talk about Sonic now,
everyone
right? The
was
classic
playing
video
chess.
game character running through green
Chess
hills.
isn't always competitive.
I wish Sonic talked about
Chess can
Sonic
also
like.
be
I wish people talked about Sonic like
beautiful.
epic stories and like just being like super positive role model, I guess.
Now you can enter
guess is
Beth
how I wish
Harmon's
people would
world
describe
because
him.
There's a new game coming out from developer Ripstone, inspired by
Like from the
Queen's
incredibly
Gambit
upbeat,
series.
adventurous.
That's right, and it's not just a chess
I don't
board.
know.
We have the first
I
ever
guess I'm
look
just tired of the
at
same
trailer
generic
for
descriptions,
the
surface
game.
level Sonic
Let's check it out.
descriptions. You can tell when somebody's like been around the block. Netflix Geek or Geeked Week. It's Netflix's thing. Looks like Sonic Prime to me
Like,
because
those
he's so
characters,
marketable. I mean,
You play
the
the
merch-
game, and you,
the merch probably
you don't
carries
really think about
Sonic,
what
so.
they would sound like in real life.
And the
then
movies now,
when I
too.
Last year, we first met the characters and we heard their voice. I'm like, it's just so perfect. It's exactly how you'd want them to sound. They have so much fun with each other. And yeah, the fact that we got the first
It was
season
based.
earlier this year, and now
I
the
want. I
next
haven't
batch
watched it
of
yet. It's already
episodes
out, but
coming
I
in
want to watch
August.
it. I have
Yeah,
Netflix. I have no
I'm so
excuse.
excited with it. It's so authentic, as you said.
What's wrong
like,
with
this
me?
is exactly what
We
I want
Cuphead
Netflix to
fandom
do
now.
More of is adding lore to these gaming worlds, and Cuphead itself is such an amazing series. So yeah,
Yep.
very exciting.
And if you're anything like us and you're craving some more throwback animation, old-timey music, truly just demented adventures, the Cuphead show is streaming right now on Netflix with more episodes on the way this summer.
That's right, August. All right, that's one of the biggest announcements of this show for me. And stick around because later today, the cast and showrunners are doing a table read for a brand new episode of the Cuphead show.
Yo,
right
one of
here
the guys
on
has like a
Geeked.
streamer setup.
fun.
What?
All I want to hear is more of roll.
What is this, a mobile game? I love the character design.
So perfect, and this is what I want more from Netflix, is completely original games, looks tons of fun, has that old school feel to it.
Yeah,
it
that
feels like.
8-bit vibe.
I'm very, very excited this is going to be coming to Netflix and that we got to announce it.
Yeah, and a little bit more about it. It is a journey written in the stars.
Hidden dungeons, mythical temples, mysteries of the past. That all kind of qualifies any game
Losing
to be
energy.
on my list of something I want to play.
This story is inspired by
This
a
also
Japanese
takes place
folktale
right when I normally
called
eat
The
lunch,
Tale of the
so I'm
Bamboo
like-
Cutter. Over 1,000 years later, it's a game which is so awesome.
my stomach is
dad
like,
used to
"What are you
talk to me about
doing?"
this story. It was like
Really?
a
The
bedtime
Bamboo
story.
Cutter?
God.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's the princess who
My body's like-
is part of the moon. Like she's
Sonic,
one of the
it's
moon
not
people who have been-
food.
Who came to
It's like
Earth,
trying to tell
and
me.
she was found in a bamboo. by
He's
the
not
bamboo cutter.
nourishment.
This is
Get
all
this through your
I'm
thick
piecing it
skull.
together now. It's a beautiful
God,
story.
you're like
It's
an
really
expert
gorgeous.
on the bamboo.
He's gonna be
cutter.
very last.
Well, I don't
Totally.
know. I'm an expert only if my dad said the story right, and if
I'm
I was
sure.
listening
Step it
correctly
up,
as a
Evan.
kid.
He wouldn't leave.
I used
you
all my
straight.
la-
I love
energy.
though, is that this is something that's not like
Energy
there's already an anime of this
in
on
real
Netflix and now
time,
they're making a game of it. Like,
narrating
this is
and
a
translating
completely
for
original
Azuka.
experience.
I didn't
It's a
translate it
vertical
myself. I just read the
platformer
subtitles.
without
But
a
that's a
jump
lot of
button.
energy
Keep that in
to do it
mind.
in time.
So
I also like was
swiping
squeezing in
through
commentary
Luna as
between
she plunges
lines of
deeper and
dialogue.
deeper through ancient temples and
Evan, where's
lost
your
ruins,
hopium drink? You
which is
should
a
have
ingenious
some
way to
prepared at
adapt
all
the
times.
usual
Darn, you're
console
right.
kind of
I did
side-scrolling
keep the
gameplay.
label though,
It's got a
so I
story
could just
mode,
put that
special
on.
challenge
I mean, it's a
rooms,
real
and an
drink.
expansive world, but you have to stay focused to avoid traps, dodge enemies, and collect pearls. That's what all those little white things are.
Gotcha. An endless mode has players competing on leaderboards to collect the most pearls or see who makes it the furthest in each of the game's
This will be the
various
greatest
levels.
Lucky
5-second.
Luna, very excited to announce this, and it's coming this summer.
This will be
only
the
on
greatest
Netflix,
5-second Sonic
exclusively
Prime
independent
teaser.
game
It
from an acclaimed
probably
developer.
will.
As I said, I want to see more of
Because
this
judging from the
Netflix,
other
and I'm
clips, they're
very
not much
excited
longer
that
than
we
what we
got to
saw at
announce this and
Central.
that
So what
people
if
can
it's
play
the
this
same
summer.
clips?
Have you ever wished you could explore your dreams and memories?
No.
Never? Yeah, it's kind of terrifying.
Dark. What about your nightmares? Yes. I'm just
Yes.
kidding. Desta.
Of the Central were really exciting. So
Memories of people and places.
the
I've
Central
struggled
and
to
an
return to.
isolated event was bad, but
searching
the
every
implications
night.
were good. So
Trying to understand.
I like this.
Those words left unsaid.
Are they like
stand in my
lower
way.
frames?
But I think I found a way through.
The characters are like really low FPS.
Let's see how far it takes
Okay.
us.
2D animated approach. Interesting.
This comes from a really acclaimed developer in London, Us Too. Dan
So are we
Graves,
gonna
one of
see
the guys
Sonic
that I know
Prime?
well, visited the
We
studio,
should,
and
Blue
these
Streak
guys have done a
Sonic.
lot
We
of really
should.
Acclaimed independent
They said it would.
games.
So okay.
Here's,
I
again,
shouldn't say
a
should. We
brand new
are.
game, which
The
as we heard in
confusion
description, just like
is
unlike
whether it's going to be a
anything
new
else out
clip.
there. Desta,
Though,
the memories between.
Jeff,
I'm a sucker for isometric.
Yes.
Katie had to make a
viewpoints,
clarification
in
that Sonic
games
will
and
be
just,
involved
Like you said, really
in Geek Week.
unexpected things that's mashed together.
and
you said
she
isometric.
helped
These guys did
assemble the
Monument
Central,
Valley,
right?
which is,
So
you know, classic, incredible.
it would be
makes
kind
indie
of
game.
weird
Had
to
that
direct our
cooling, everyone remembers
attention
that game a couple years ago, and the
to
sequels,
something
and
that's
now
gonna
they've
show
gone
nothing
on to
new.
do a bunch of other really interesting, unique games. This is another one, which is, you know, fully
Oh,
original
Alex Mark
story.
at the side.
Made by
Takashi
an
Iizuka
acclaimed
seeing the
developer
response to
and
Sonic
coming to Netflix.
Frontiers,
Desta,
right?
The Memories Between has a roguelike
Right?
structure.
That's what
so
I
the
was
enemies
thinking.
And the abilities
Only because of the
change
delay
from
yesterday,
run to run, so it's
right?
kinda
It was just a
infinitely replayable
little
that way.
Be
suspect.
sure to check out this game when it launches later this year. All right, I feel like indie game cred does not get any better than this one, Jeff.
Oh wow, you're setting up something.
What about
pretty big
Frontiers?
here.
I don't think there's going to be any more
All right,
Frontier
well,
stuff
let's take a
today,
look
Jamie.
at some
We already
games
got
that
an
are
interview from
coming to
Azuka,
Netflix
and he
from the
implied
one
that he's
and
interested in
only
making another adventure
Devolver.
game.
Devolver
Go check
has
that
an
out.
incredible eye
It was
for stylish,
wacky.
exciting games across all genres.
They absolutely do. They always have.
Want to see the new
fun,
build?
Crazy,
I want to talk about that. I might as well
unexpected
right now.
games, as you
Frame rate real.
say. And now we
So,
have not one,
I have
not
reason to
two, but
believe
3 games
that
coming to Netflix from Devolver.
not only
First
is
up, it is
the released
Reigns,
build of
3
Forces
Kingdoms.
a
The original
early
Reigns
build,
took off as a game that could be
but
described
the released
as
version of
Tinder
Sonic
for
06 is an
monarchs.
early
I
build.
love
The
that.
problem with
I'll
this
go with
early
that.
build
You run your
business
own
is it's kind
kingdom,
of a scapegoat
making tough decisions
because
that have
in the
rewards and
end,
consequences.
Sega's going to
Meeting
release
other
the most
characters who can
stable
change your
build of the
destiny
game possible.
Merely a swipe.
And
I mean, isn't
they're
that
also
what
going to
you're
take
doing with
screenshots of
There
their
you
game
go. Also
with
coming
the
from
most
Devolver, we have
recent build
Terra
because they
Nil,
don't have
the
to make
strategy
it
city building game
stable.
With an emphasis
It does
on
not
the
have to be
climate
optimized to take
crisis.
one
Nice to
screenshot.
see, right?
Yeah.
In Terra Nil, it's your job
So
to turn a barren wasteland
I would
into
just
an ecological
don't spend
paradise
so much time
with
talking about
flora,
early
fauna,
build.
wind
The reality is
turbines,
we can
and
only talk
wait for
about
it,
what we are
water
seeing
pumps.
Water
now.
pumps. We love our water
Of course,
pumps.
we all hope
Each
it will
piece
change.
Of land you turn into a lush
And the game devs
paradise
discussion
will
tomorrow
give
at
you
3 p.m.
points.
Well,
Saturday,
that's
3
just
p.m.
lovely,
2
isn't it?
Yeah, it
industry
is.
game devs are coming in to
Warms my
talk
heart.
about
and once
the
you've
state of Sonic
successfully
Frontiers,
saved the environment,
clear some
thank
things up
you,
for me
turn
and
the
you guys. You guys will be able to ask
buildings into an
questions.
airship
And an
to
animator's
leave
coming,
the
Sonic
beautiful
Pox,
wilds
to talk about the animations.
of nature.
Oh my
He
god.
works
That
at
you would
Platonic
That's
Games,
altruistic. I feel like-
industry
I feel like
professional,
if I-
knows what's
game,
realistic to expect.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a lofty
So get all
goal
that
to-
information
to
tomorrow at
get
3
to
p.m.
your
from
airship.
us.
Yeah, and then to beautify
Yeah, we're trying to do
it,
our
and then to be
own
like,
hype
you know
stuff
what?
on
You're
this
better off without
month
them.
of
It's an
Sonic
airship. Do you think
news.
it's like a big blimp that you get to take off in, or do you think it's like
Kay's
No, I'm
Blader says,
thinking
Evan, do you
like
think
shit,
current
like
Sonic team is
SpaceX
capable of
rocket?
making
Probably more
SA3?
that, and it's probably not steampunky.
I
It's
am a
all
firm believer in that the
turbines and things like
problems
See,
with
these are all
Sonic
the things
game
we're gonna have to
output
find out
has
in
nothing to do with the
Terra Nil.
devs
then
themselves and
finally,
has
from the
everything to
creator
do
of
with the company that
award-winning
manages them.
Downwell, it's Poinpy.
And there's a
This
little
is
bit
like- I think
incompetence
this
when
might
it
be
comes to
my
them trying to
favorite
implement
game for a
momentum.
video game of the year so far.
Poinpy.
Like, I think a little
Poinpy.
bit,
I
like they
mean,
have
I'd love to
challenge,
say it.
they have a little bit
Poinpy.
of
Everyone in chat
challenges
right now.
doing that, but they need the dev
Poinpy.
time in order to test
Hashtag
all the
Poinpy. That's
right,
variables.
exactly.
I mean, get
that
ready
a
to
momentum-based
dodge
gameplay
the
style
baddies and feed the blue
results in.
beast. Yes, the blue beast.
Literally,
that's hot
the
on your
boost
heels.
formula has
That's
less
all coming in
variables to
Poinpy. We
test.
have the first official look at Poinpy. Big exclusive
They're
for you.
really
Let's
stringing me
check it
along.
out.
They're really going to do it. There's literally objectively, this is objective. In momentum-based gameplay, there is more variables to test. There literally is. Right? Depending on your amount of speed going off a ramp, you will go in a wildly different direction. So there's all kinds of variables to test. So every example of Sonic Team using momentum for a level design was classic Sonic and Generations, right? Or like Sonic 4. And like they didn't do, you saw dash panels everywhere. Like they're still, they do momentum, but it's very surface level. They don't have time to actually like base the level design around it.
Is Poinpy? What is Poinpy? Is Poinpy
And that takes
the
time.
character? Do we think?
I think Poinpy
I've talked to
might
the
be
developer of
character.
Sonic
Is that like
Utopia.
a class
Beast
of
is-
character? Like, is Poinpy
And
in a
like, for
specific
example,
character, you think Poinpy is like a species?
Mario-style
species?
platformers, that's
Look at
like
that- look
the
at that art.
base
I'm like, I
for
sent clearly
platformers.
who-
And they
are
do it
all
very
are they
well, but it's the
Poinpies?
base.
That's like
So when you
plural
go
of
to
a
study
point?
game design,
I
they
feel like
teach
Poinpy
you
must be the
to make
character. I
that
mean,
kind of
it's got
platformer,
a
more or less.
hat
They
and
teach
stuff,
you how to do
you know?
that stuff.
It's
That's like entry, like
established-
that's the fundamentals.
person knows it.
Individual eye, that's Poinpy. There's
Right.
only one
Momentum-based
Poinpy in the world.
platformer is not
Or is it-
fundamentals,
I don't know, many Poinpy.
right? All the variables to
Being the
test, that is
beast, though,
more
and then it
advanced.
being a cat, I feel
Objectively,
like
more
most pet
advanced.
owners would be like, yeah, need to feed the beast.
There's a lot
Why
of
do you think
Poinpy.
Sonic
We need the
struggled
Poinpy
to go into
wiki.
3D,
Can someone start that
right?
up
And
right
3D
now so I
adds
can figure
way
this
more
out?
variables.
I can tell you, this game, I'm sure, is going to be
Right?
very
So-
addictive. The more you play, you keep going higher
And, like,
higher
these
up in the
devs
world,
that are coming
and
tomorrow,
the game, of course, gets harder and harder.
Yep,
at 3 p.m.
bouncing all over
standard
the place,
time or
grabbing
Eastern Standard
fruit
time
for the
tomorrow,
beast across
Saturday.
randomly
These devs that are coming in
generated
tomorrow are my
areas
friends.
filled
So
with
these are
creatures
friends
and
that I've
special
spoken to
abilities,
already
plus
multiple
puzzle
times.
mode and endless mode,
Because
and
I don't
even
want to
more.
be talking
It
out of
looks
my ass
absolutely
about
great,
this
though,
stuff.
and
Like
tons of fun.
don't-
Here's
I don't
the
wanna
big
misinform people.
announcement. Drum roll, please.
Oh.
Poinpy is available right now.
That's
I like
right.
this style though.
Surprise!
Shadow drop.
Netflix members around the world
Mixed media
can
is
play
also
it today.
in the
Just
industry.
open up your
In the
Netflix
chat,
app on your phone and search
I'm being
for
validated
Point
right now.
to
I'm literally
download
trying
it
to
and
help,
play
guys.
it
Like,
right now.
I try
Summer
not
Game
to take
Fest
like I try to take a million stance, and I try to do as much research as I possibly can. And the reality is, eventually, I'm gonna get too old to do this. So context, right? Like, I'm turning
That's right.
30. I think I'm turning 30. I'm
To say that
29.
Dota has taken
Eventually, I'm gonna
the
get too old to do
gaming
this. So
world
I'm
by
really just trying to make
storm
sure
over
I can.
the past 2 decades.
I can like
That's a massive understatement. Jeff, you've
leave the
been
community
to
when I'm
the
too old for it, and just
international,
feel
I
like
have a couple times. I went to the
I
first
helped.
international
You know,
that was
I don't
actually
know.
in
That's
Germany
what I want to
back
do.
in the
I'm
day.
really
And then I've
not
been a
trying to
couple times
manipulate
at the
people.
international when they did it,
If I'm
the
like, that's
Key
why.
Arena,
If you disagree,
which is now
please
Climate
like
Pledge
let's
up
talk
in
about it.
Seattle,
I'm
and
interested.
It's such a sensation. I love.
Because
I mean,
the
all
reason the stuff I'm
amazing
saying
teams
is
that
just
have
coming
been part
from
of it. And
conversations
even
like
last
that
year, we had a couple
accumulated
of,
over years.
other
I
teams that
literally
were
am just very
nominated
interested
at the Game Awards from
in figuring
playing of all
out
places. It's a truly
what
global game.
people
and
want.
Such a phenomenon. Valve's done an amazing
I'm a firm
job.
believer in
So
that there's a way to make a
exciting being in the
compromise.
esports arena.
Creatively, I think it's
My
possible.
goodness.
Yeah, and Dota, you know, people love the lore and the characters, and the game has an absolutely massive fan base. And the lore has been brought to life
I'm
in
out
the
of water.
original series, Dota Dragon's Blood.
They're really gonna do us like this. Evan, I thought you were 23. You do not look your age. Yeah, I slipped up a little bit there. I don't normally. I'm getting to the point where I'm a little bit self-conscious of my age.
This
Can you
was
tell?
when this first season came out a little while
it's
ago,
about- I mean,
and Dota fans
time is time.
were eating good.
Thank you
I
so much for
understand
saying that,
we
though.
have something special for the Dota fans right now.
I love the badass tales in the Twitter feed. Yes, that's being retweeted by my artist friend Scarpy.
I believe I've been targeted. All right, she's
I'm sure it's nothing personal.
What is your
arrow
favorite Sonic
is
character?
headed
I'm
right
sorry,
in my
Milkman, but
direction
like,
if I don't release
it's
all
obviously
the details
Sonic,
right
but to
now
omit
on
Sonic?
Dota Dragon's Blood, which is set in a fantasy world
It's probably
of magic
Tails.
and mysticism. The story follows
But
a
I
dragon
really-
knight,
I love the main
Davion,
three
who
trio,
hunts
like,
and
so
slays
much.
dragons to make the world
so much.
a safer place.
When
Is
I
it a
was
safer
younger,
place if there are fewer
I really
dragons
liked
in the world?
Shadow.
I don't
I'm not sure
know.
that's
But I mean, like,
necessarily true, right?
Shadow ain't
And
Shadow
not if you ask
anymore.
the dragons.
Exactly. I say more.
You know?
We need more dragons in this world. Anyways,
Based on the Valve video game Dota 2, Season 3 of Dragon's Blood is coming to Netflix on
August 11th.
You're never too old.
oh, that's exciting. So
August
for
11th.
Dota, we've got lots of cool stuff happening in August with
That's
the
right,
Cuphead
Cuphead.
show.
Did you
But
guys hear
right
that?
Now, we've got Point P. Have you guys
August
finished your Point P
11th.
download? I was gonna say it is
you guys hear
available
that?
right now. Now for something completely different.
How
They had
about
to edit
something
the
as
date.
thematically far from Dota as possible? Something
Sonic.
completely, I don't know, adorable.
Are we announcing Point P2 right now?
Point B2 happening right now, downloadable.
Are they gonna describe Sonic as
Yes.
adorable?
Here's a palette cleanser, guys. Roll it.
Okay. Okay, thank God. That is actually adorable. I just was kind of like, I was just worried that they were gonna call Sonic adorable because earlier we were talking about how like the corporate utility of Sonic is that he's cute and he's gonna be like a little stuffed animal, and they're you know, the money symbols are in the Sega corporate eyes, and they're like, oh my God, we're gonna make millions from
I have to
merch,
admit
which
something.
is the reality.
When I saw this in the script after we'd done Too Hot to
I
Handle, I'm
honestly
like,
think that
wow, things,
merch
this is a Charlie Sheen
merch takes
movie.
so much priority with
Amazing. Yeah.
franchises like
Oh
Sonic.
my
Completely different. Like, how
goodness.
risque are we getting? I'm like, no,
Gotta
we're
push
going
the
for
games. You
Wild
gotta be
Things
like,
Animal
that's why you gotta be
Adventures.
critical
All right.
and hype. Like, these are important. I'm
Yeah, I'm a
hyped because it's
sucker for these
important.
types of
An
games
important
where
game.
It looks
but
like
I'm also
it's a
critical
match
because I
three,
want
and then you
because it's
can buy
important.
Your area. I love these kinds of things.
Look how
And I
cute
keep
that
saying
elephant
hype and
is.
critical because,
Yeah.
like, literally,
Now, what's
I don't
cuter,
feel like
Pointy or the
anyone has ever
Oh,
described.
man.
Poll in the chat, guys.
It's always been
Come
like
on.
I'm either critical and negative
The
or
Wild
hype
Things are in
and like
trouble,
blindly
and they
positive.
Need your help, guys.
In Wild
We can-
Things,
we
you
can
help
take
these cute beasts
both, the
restore
best
their
of both worlds.
wildlands by playing games and re-beautifying and restoring their environment to health.
And who wouldn't want to help out these adorable little creatures? Help them save all kinds of places.
August 11th.
Lush forests,
Yeah,
tropical
very edited.
islands, and icy terrains, and they need your help very soon.
Oh, we're
Very
nearing
soon.
20 minutes
Yeah,
until the end of
because
this.
You can download
Jeez,
Wild Things on Netflix
I
later
really
this
thought
month.
I'd be able to
I feel
like
we need a
pop out early, but they
I was
are
gonna
really
say,
just.
Point P today, later this month, Wild
I mean, you
Things.
guys are being massively supportive.
Dota.
Oh, August.
August,
I did it again.
Cuphead.
August.
And then who knows what's beyond
August.
that. All right, well, next up, an animated series based on an absolute gaming icon.
Yes,
That's
is it.
right. We're talking about Sonic Prime.
There
And
we go.
We've got some very exciting news from some of Sonic's friends. Let's check it out.
Okay. New. The music. Big.
Sorry, Big. Sorry, Froggy. Can't chat. Gotta go help our friends.
No problem, Sonic.
Wait a minute, that might be
I
it.
know
Oh
what
god,
you're
it's totally
thinking.
it.
I'm good and powerful, apparently.
That's it.
Jealous?
That's it. Oh my. I'm sorry. Be awake, Sass. Wake up. Sorry.
Sonic has had a big year.
He's got a schedule. He's got no time for anyone.
So
I mean,
gotta
we
run.
how
were
could
we
you
were
have time?
kind
You've
of.
got the
Let's see what they say.
movie,
Let's see what they
The new
say.
game Frontiers is coming out later this year,
He's
and
got
now
his agent on the phone.
Sonic Prime. I mean, Sonic's a pretty big deal these days.
Absolutely. Sonic
Yep.
Prime is the
Next game is a big
hedgehog
deal.
you know and love.
Voice
until
your
an incredible
concerns.
twist thrusts Sonic into a new adventure.
The new series features a reinvented cast and Sonic like you've never seen him before, where the fate of the multiverse rests in his gloved hands.
This time, Sonic's adventure isn't just a race to save the universe from Dr. Eggman. It's a race to save, dun dun dun, his friends.
Honestly, I think Sonic's kind of taking his friends for granted, if I have to be honest with you.
Ooh, that's a hot topic. I mean, how could you take Big the Cat or Froggy for granted? I mean, come on, Sonic.
We're getting into Froggy, wow. We're getting deep into Sonic lore. All right, well, we're gonna find out what happens
That's
to Sonic,
deep.
Froggy, and all his other friends when Sonic
Are
Prime
they making fun of Froggy?
debuts only on Netflix.
Jeff, don't make fun
so
of Froggy.
Back to the games. We debuted
Froggy
some
is
today
awesome.
based on Netflix shows, saw some fresh ideas from brilliant indie studios.
this the
I
end?
mean, what's next, Jeff?
I think we're gonna take a look at a few games.
Oh, so it wasn't at
you
the
may
end.
recognize that are making their.
I'm turning them down a
mobile
little bit because we're going
debut
to talk about what we just
only
saw.
on Netflix. First up here is Raji.
Oh, am I going to stay till the end?
In
I
this
have
game,
to
you play
eat.
young Raji,
I'm going to talk about
chosen
the
by gods
I'm going to go
stand
back
against
and
a
look at what we were
demonic
just looking at.
invasion.
This is my choice. Sorry. Sorry if you guys really wanted to see the rest of the event.
That's right. We're talking about.
So they described Sonic as an
Prime,
icon.
and
Good.
very
And they're
exciting news
also
from some of
kind of
Sonic's
echoing what
friends.
I'm saying, right?
Check it
Sonic's a big
out.
deal right now, which as a consequence means that the next game is a big deal. Everyone's looking. Okay? That's why we're raising our bar. That's why it may seem, without context, that we're treating Frontiers unfairly. It's because, pardon my French, shit just got real. So let's break this down. We were half right? We got a clip we already saw, but we got a character we didn't know was going to be involved.
Stop and
Prime. And
I don't know how I feel about the music. It feels like just like they're like, oh, video game music, right? And not what makes Sonic music. So that's a little bit concerning. But again, we have Big here, so that's good in a way. Like they're not afraid of Sonic's friends, but it's a cartoon, so they're gonna have to use Sonic's friends. So that's not really saying much. Sonic sounds a lot like Roger here. Like whoever, I think it's Devin is his name. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's Devin. Does a very good job at emulating the Roger take, but also putting his own spin on it, right? This fits. This fits.
Sorry, Big. Sorry, Froggy. Can't chat. Gotta go help our friends.
No problem, Sonic.
Yeah, and that's basically it. So let's look at Big. Because something about, I don't know, something about his mouth, I guess. I turned away from 2 minutes and they showed. Are you kidding me? Well, you can't blink. You know how Sonic reveals are. Devin Mack. Thank you so much, Ellis. So yeah, we don't have a premiere date yet, as Donnie in the tweet feed over there is saying. We still have no date on this. So we're looking at Big. What I don't like, this is what looks weird about Big here. These weird like wrinkles on the sides of his mouth. I don't know why, but it's making me uncomfortable. I don't know why. It just looks kind of off. They just don't need to be there. You could almost like smooth them out and it would look fine. But it's Big, so I think it's only because his muzzle is uniquely stretched out, and they probably just, I don't think this is a problem with any other characters. Froggy looks so happy. Look at him. So happy. And so Big being in this game, and also purple coins with those little like fish hooks in the Frontiers first gameplay showcase, making me think, is Big back? Is our boy Big back? I do like Devon Max, or Devon, I think it's Devon Max Sonic. I do too, you know? Because, I mean, the biggest criticism for Roger was that he sounded really high-pitched. And this is interesting because it simultaneously answers those criticisms, but it also is just consistent enough to almost, like, I guarantee you, similar to when Ryan was replaced in Shadow the Hedgehog, a lot of people, when they were younger, didn't even know until, like, the later on games or when they got onto the internet. And I think this will be even more so the case here. Look at Sonic's little dance. Doing a little dance. I mean, I will say it looks heavily animated. Like, there's a lot of detail here. And it simply looks a little bit more polished than Boom did. The problem is, what I'm kind of expecting here is this show to be better animated than Sonic Boom, but we're going to be left unsatisfied because we were spoiled with the writing of Sonic Boom. You know what I mean? That's the shame about Sonic Boom, is the writing was like, I felt uniquely catered to, right? Like, I could just sit down and watch it like any other sitcom. It was weird. Like, what I'm worried about this one is that the animation will be perfectly fine and the characters will look like themselves, but then ultimately the script and what happens will just be another kid's show. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm afraid of. And it's kind of looking like that so far, but we've seen so little. I like the effects on Sonic as he runs. I will note that it is not electricity. So fans who are afraid of Sonic adopting his movie counterparts electricity, you don't need to fear quite yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening in the future.
Sorry, Big. Sorry, Froggy. Can't chat. Gotta go help our friend.
The inflections are the same. Gotta go help my friends. Gotta go help our friends. Like, sorry, Froggy. Like, I don't know. Being a voice actor, I'm trying to break down the sounds, but like it's gonna be lost on all you guys. Basically, the inflections are the same. So I'm seeing an effort on Devon's part to actually like emulate Roger's take, which is great. And I mean, according to all the Sonic voice actors before, of course, Ryan, they were shown references to the previous Sonic voices, so that's not out of the question to believe they did that. And Devon is just really good at doing it. In fact, I would say that this is the only Sonic voice actor transition, or I shouldn't say transition because it's not like he's the new voice, but it's the only alternative interpretation of a character that seems to stray the least from the main actor's interpretation, which is interesting. I'm just paying tribute to the uniqueness of that, right? I was expecting to experience a lot more, I guess, what you describe as like culture shock, I guess, like something so different than what you're used to, especially since you've heard Roger so long that you won't like it because it's so different. And I'm a pretty firm believer, and that's what happened for a lot of people with Jason, is that he just didn't sound like Ryan. I mean, that's totally what happened for me, is just he wasn't Ryan, and he had a different take, and his take became more his own as he moved through the role. And hopefully Devon gets a chance to do that too. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it ended up. Just to kind of help us warm us up to him, ease that transition a little bit, because Jason, honestly, like I have a weird, my take with Jason is interesting. It's because I initially didn't like Jason because I really liked Ryan, right? So I had that experience. I had that like culture shock, or for lack of a better term. But really, I was kind of like, I didn't really notice it until later on, because I kind of really liked Jason's take when he started, right? Shadow the Hedgehog was pretty good. But then somewhere in the middle of his run, I didn't like what he was doing. But then near the tail end, Unleashed, Black Knight, something just clicked. I don't know. So the beginning and the end of his run is what I'm saying, is like I really enjoyed. Thinking the beginning of his run was meant to emulate Ryan Drummond to ease the transition. And then I guess the end of his run, he just like found something that worked for him. Because those two, I don't mean to say that those two eras of Jason Griffith's interpretation of his characters sound the same. They don't. They're different, but I enjoyed them. Okay, so that's about all we can break down from this. You know, we saw Big in it. Is this a new Big's voice? Didn't really notice anything.
Sorry, Big. Sorry, Froggy. Can't chat. Gotta go help our...
There's a notable lack of audio mixing. I can't hear Sonic's footsteps.
Sorry, Big. Sorry, Froggy. Can't chat. Gotta go help our friends.
It's like sound effects are very quiet. You know, like it feels, I guess it's not done. You could probably say that it's not done because it's like they're showcasing it now. But again, like we said, we can only react to what we're seeing now. And so I'm going to say that there could be more sound effects just to kind of immerse us a little bit better. There's like a hair in my eye. Jeez, that's what happens when you have two fluffy animals. Yeah, just a little bit, something about the audio mixing is a little off.
Sonic.
Sorry, Big. Sorry,
Yeah.
Froggy. Can't chat. Gotta go help our friends.
I mean, it's a nitpick. It could be that because he's stepping on grass. Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to do, I think I saw the, yeah, whoa. I almost missed that. Do you see that? Oh, I love the figure 8 so much, especially from the side. Look at it bend like that. Ooh. Stretchy modern Sonic. Let's go. Oh, man. I love that. I love that so much. So good. Foxmation. Thank you so much for the $5. This is for you, for being a good host and being patient with events like this. Keep your positive and respectful vibes and speak from the heart. Wow, thank you so much, Foxmation. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we seriously could not run Tales Channel without the support of you guys. And when I say support, I don't just mean, of course, monetary support, but I mean just people, you know, sharing our articles and using them to kind of keep discussion grounded and also just like engaging with my opinion-based videos. I try my very best to use my experience to, you know, to help you guys, like I said before. I don't need to repeat myself. So I think
Sorry, Big.
that
Sorry,
might be
Froggy.
all
Can't chat. Gotta go
that
help
we
our...
can really talk about. I think it's about time for me to eat some food and get on with the rest of the work I gotta do.